Thank you so much. The board chair, the CEO of Agora Policy, and all supervisors and fellows and special guests in the room. It's a privilege to be in your midst today. I was very excited when I got the invite, and I like the work that Agora Policy is doing because you have created a critical niche for yourself, even in the development sector, to serve as a policy think tank. And I was excited to also hear that now you are raising a generation of policy thinkers, people who have been trained to get it right. Of course, most people will agree that Nigeria has so many policies. And if you look at it, anytime you take time to analyze, you'll find that not much thought, probably not much thought, went into them. They were just like routine. When the policy cycle ends, you get another one, and nobody cares whether it is getting to do the work that policy should do, which is to drive reforms. But I think that getting it right is a first critical step. Excuse me. Sometime early last year, into early this year, I led a team of consultants to also write a JESI policy, Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Policy, for the National Assembly. We were pleasantly surprised to know that there was a first edition of that policy that was written in 2014. 10 years. And I didn't know about it. And when we did the consultation, we found that people who have worked in National Assembly in those years didn't know anything about that policy. Civil society did not know about it, So it was a lot of work because at that time we were talking about gender mainstreaming. That has now rolled over to gender equality and social inclusion. That one was never implemented, and now we are writing a successor policy. It didn't stop us. We wrote it, we launched it. Legislators were there in the room at the validation. But unfortunately, again, that coincided with the current, I don't know what to call it, hula baloo in the National Assembly. So you can be sure that nobody is looking at the policy. And after now, it is election, 2027, that they start campaigning and all of that. So nobody will look at it until maybe the 11th Assembly, unless we find people who will drive it. On that day, we had legislators who actually promised to drive it. But with everything happening, nobody is looking at, policies. And it's really disappointing. Well, I congratulate the fellows, having worked with Agora Policy in the last 3 months. I know the rigor you must have passed through because I also work with Agora Policy, writing some papers. And Dr. Adio is one respect because of his knowledge and the high bar that he raises. So there are people I write papers for, and they don't make a single comment. I don't like it because it does not make me better, right? Because you think you know everything. You do a whole research, and then you write, and then you submit to the client, and there's no single comment. I'm like, am I so perfect that, everything is just fine? But if you write for Dr. Adio, you go hear him. Because he will critique it constructively. And at the end of the day, just like you say, it makes your paper better. And guess whose name goes on the paper? Do you understand that? So I congratulate you if you have gone through that rigor to get to where you are. It's a good thing because that makes your work better at the end of the day. I think the only thing I am looking forward to seeing now is, okay, so we get policy right. How do we get policy to influence reforms? That's another thing. And that's where my brother comes in as a politician. So if you have one leg in policy and another leg in politics, then you're able to transmit the message to the people who should use it. I think Dr. Adio made a point. I wrote it down. I can't find where I wrote it now. About Understanding the Politics of Policy. So this NAS Jersey policy that we wrote, that issue came up. People were like, okay, when they see gender equality, these are African men, these are Nigerian men who have been fighting equality. When they see it's a gender equality and social inclusion policy, sorry, it's a strategy, not policy. Who is going to look at it? We had to change the name to gender equity and social inclusion. But as an expert in the field, I know that equity leads to equality. So call it equity if you like, but we're heading towards equality. Thank you very much and congratulations to both the supervisors and the fellows.